Welcome to SoundBreaker. In today's episode, we're talking to Eric Petersen. Eric, pleasure to have you on the show. Eric is the founder and the CEO of FanzPass. I like the name, FanzPass. You're going to tell us all about it. Eric, if you don't mind, give us a quick introduction about yourself for any of our viewers and listeners who might not be familiar with you. That would be great before we dive into it.
Sounds good. Yeah, what really led me to today and this moment is getting into licensing with the NFL. And I think the only reason the NFL allowed me into their space, because it's very difficult to get a license with the NFL, is my background has always been about identifying problems. As a culture, we're very good getting into a complaining loop. It's easy to complain, and it's much harder to come in with solutions and be able to just, without emotion, without ego, be able to identify stuff that can actually move the needle for the betterment of man or the betterment of yourself or your family or whatever. So I've just had a unique gift to be able to, before I open my mouth, be able to identify problems. And so the problem I identified with the NFL before I asked them to give me a license was that, and it's very similar to what we're dealing with in the, performance-based creator field, is at the time in 2012, I identified that there's probably about 20 NFL players that really drive merchandise. And for people who don't understand, jerseys are the number one seller. We all probably would assume that. And with the collective bargaining agreement, when Tom Brady sells 1 million jerseys, everybody in the NFL gets a residual of that. Outside of jerseys and a couple other things, merchandise-wise, it's 100% for the athlete. But I identified and went to the NFL, said, listen, you got about 25 people driving your merch. You got a problem because you got 1,700 members in the CBA and none of them have merch. They're like, okay, rookie, what's your solution? And so I explained to him that we're going to build a merchandising platform for every player. We're going to leverage their social media platform, and we're going to build a e-commerce store that will allow them to monetize their biggest moments. For example, let's fast forward to FanzPass. FanzPass is a vertical, and something that I identified in the creator economy, especially for athletes and musicians, is these are not two industries glued together. Their fans behave culturally almost identical. And the biggest moments for athletes and musicians happen live. Games on Sunday, Monday night, the concert Tuesday, Friday at the bar. These are events that define these creators. So it just made sense to me back when I was talking to the NFL that we have to provide performance-based merchandise for the athlete, and obviously for musicians, as we know, as anybody who's familiar with the music industry, the record industry that I grew up in the 70s is gone.
Yeah.
Musicians have to focus on high churn when it comes to touring and merchandise. It's how they're making their money. We know streaming. I mean, 1 million streams gets them what? About $3,000?
Embarrassing.
And unless you're Taylor Swift, that's not a lot of income. So we're building, like Patreon is a generic subscription layer. So if an athlete or a musician has a breakout game on Sunday, or a musician has just a killer concert on Tuesday, FanzPass allows limited edition performance triggered drops on the very next day, automatically integrating with fan engagement, content, and commerce in one place. I learned that with the NFL back in 2012 because we did the same thing, but with merchandise, not with content, not with what we're talking about today in the creator economy. And so the NFL gave me the license based on that belief, and we scaled every player to have merchandise in a very short a period of time, and we leveraged their social media. And what we understand, and what I learned from that experience, Bob, with social media, which has to relate to what we're doing for musicians today with FanzPass, is it's all about super fans. Most of creators' Instagram or X or whatever following is passive. There's a very small percentage of fans that actually spend money. They're called super fans. And that is where everything lies. I'm a Kiss fan. You see Kiss in the background. Kiss really helped me build this model, because what Kiss is doing is they are making millions of dollars on super fans. These meet and greets for $4,500. I spent $4,500.
Wow.
Be backstage at the Forum, and I got signatures. I spent time with Paul Stanley and Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer and Gene Simmons. It was a great experience. I can afford it. I'm a super fan. These bands. Kiss was smart. Back in 1995, when they did their first conventions, they charged $100 for fans to come to an acoustic set and answer questions. And at the time, $100 in '95 was a lot of money. But they understood that super fans is what's going to carry them, not the passive fan. Passive fan may go to their concert every era. It's the super fans. And that's really helped me identify, not only for the NFL, but what we're doing for musicians and athletes for FanzPass, is we're hypersensitive on the super fan. So my background comes from really just being open to possibility and looking at things without my ego and identifying real problems and coming up with solutions before, really even opening my mouth. And that's why we're here today.
I mean, I like, excuse me. I love, first of all, you got the courage and the vision and the determination to kind of go after the untouchables, the NFL. Like, it's not easy to get in there, not even to talk to them, just to get a license. That was pretty impressive, my friend, I have to say.
Well, I
Kudos to
didn't
you.
know it was impossible, but after I got it, I was told it was impossible. And the year after I got it, they gave me the Licensee of the Year award, because we did such a great deal.
And you're still working with them, correct?
Yeah, I work with them, and I still have a license. I still have Team Spirit Store USA. We're still doing business, but merchandise is one thing. We're beyond merchandise now. We can actually integrate merchandise with the creator economy based on performance triggered events. And that's what's so cool about FanzPass is, by accident, I've created a vertical that is like Twitch for gamers, that's like YouTube for video creators, that gives them their actual economical engine, something that they can actually do. Because again, like I told you, they're just cobblestoning all these other features to try to make money, and that's not working for them.
Pretty impressive. So you took it from there, then you went into the music business. Like, hey, we can implement the same model, the same concept for the music business, for the musicians. We can focus on the super fan who really as you mentioned, Kiss make millions of dollars a year from super fans, and they're still around and they're still making money off of it. I mean, I don't know
Yes,
how
they
old
are.
this has been.
They just had an event in Vegas 2 months ago. They
Yeah.
had these cruises. Well, they didn't do a cruise this year. They did it by land. They called it the
Mhm.
cruise by land in Vegas at the
Yeah.
Virgin Hotels in Vegas. I went to it, spent my money because I'm a super fan, and everybody there spent shitloads of money. There wasn't a lot of us, but that's all Kiss needs. That's all anybody really needs is to
You
understand
know,
that.
I seen a lot of platforms even when I started the podcast in 2024, 2023 really, in the end of it, I started on October, November, but in January of 24, I started to see a lot of platforms coming together. A lot of these new super fans, everybody wants to do the super fans. There's so many of them. Now, I
Yep.
don't know who's successful or who's not, but I know there's one company, I forgot the name of it. They just partnered up with Universal, Evan or Even, something like this. It's called, and they partner up, and it's all focused on super fans and all of that. So, is that the next? I know before we started the interview, we were talking about streaming and how streaming is relevant and becoming irrelevant as far as monetizing for artists is so hard because there's so much music out there, and it's a model that's been around for 20 plus years, and it doesn't match our current time. It doesn't. Like, there's certain things need to move on, need to change, need to be different because of technology, because of other events happening, because of how social media really reshaped the whole monetization and creation, and where the follower or the fan, you can call it, became the creator. The follower became the creator.
Yes.
They became the actual creators. They became the new stars, and new artists being born overnight through social media, TikTok and Instagram and Reels, Instagram Reels, and shorts on YouTube, and YouTube. It reshaped the whole concept and the whole understanding of being creative, being an artist, being an actor, being a celebrity. Who's the new celebrities? Are the social media?
Yep.
These are the new stars. We all know that.
Look at
All of
Tom
these.
Brady. He's going out with an influencer.
Yes, the influencers
Yeah.
became the new, and that also affected and impacted how do we monetize on music, on creative media, whether it's audio, which is music, or whether it's visuals, anything that's UGC generated. And so yes, there is a change. There is a change happening, and Jimmy Ivan, a couple of interviews I watched recently, he says, it's the end for social media. It's the death. Exactly, his word for word. I mean, it's not something I'm making up. You could look it up. He
Right.
says the death of streaming, and I love streaming, but streaming is actually coming to an end. Now, what's next? Streaming platforms didn't figure out what's next. So, Superfans is one of it, but Superfans still, this is more for established artists, established mega artists that who already, they have their own concerts. They are everywhere. They're traveling, they're touring, they have merchandise. So that help increase and connect more to their fans, which is great. Your idea is amazing, where you took it from sports into music. Obviously, music and sports, they go hand in hand. There's no game without music. So, and video gamers also kind of lead the way of monetization in music. But
That's why Twitch is so big. I mean,
100%.
Twitch is their vertical for gamers.
Yeah.
And Twitch was smart.
What about artists? Where's their vertical? Where's artists' vertical? Where is it? Is it TikTok?
Exactly. That's the point. Bob,
TikTok became a news, because TikTok became a news media thing, became a marketplace, and more political.
Yes.
Which is fine. But again, yes. So it's no longer a creative, fun spot for kids to have fun, to post dancing videos, a group singing, new fun things. It's all about conspiracies, all about UFOs and politics and wars and Fine. Yes, we do need. We do need an honest, open media, not scripted media. Fantastic. But again, where we go, where the creative business go, where's the music business go, where's all of that goes. So we only have what Instagram Reels, which is mixed of both. TikTok mixed of both. Shorts mixed of both. YouTube. It has to be a place where artists can actually new artists uh, have an outlet where they can generate money and kind of establish their presence in this world stage.
Yes, and you're throwing around the word super fans. That word is again being hijacked.
Yeah.
We as human beings have a great capacity of hijacking certain things. The Me Too movement was hijacked.
Yes.
Everything gets OnlyFans was hijacked by the porn industry. Things get hijacked. So again, my frustration was, how do I get not labeled as FanzPass as a monetization tool, as opposed to what I'm really building as a vertical? So, we can talk about super fans, but the point is, when I ask an investor, and I'm getting to a point where I'm going to have to eventually get in front of investors, I'm going to ask them, where do gamers go? And they'll probably say Twitch. Where did independent journalists go? They may say Substack. They may not know. I will go, well, where do video creators go? They'll probably say YouTube. And then I'll ask the question, where do musicians go? Where do athletes go? Where is their vertical? There is no answer. Now, the biggest answer I get is I get Patreon. And I'll be honest with you, Bob, I try to be respectful and I try not to get defensive, but it tells me that investors are in the same loop as platform developers. If you ever heard the expression that an NFL coach comes from a tree, so there's Bill Parcells, great coach, and he has all these assistants that became head coaches, and it becomes a tree. Well, same thing happened with all these people who created all these platforms, Instagram. They come from this tree, and now they're developing all these other platforms because investors, guys like me, because I called all these platform developers and said, hey, I want to build this. And they put me into a box. They wanted to go feature benefit. They wanted to talk features. I don't want to talk features. Patreon's a tool. Spotify, tool. Stripe, a tool. These are tools that are cobbled together to create something. Twitch is a actual vertical. So they're talking to me like, we got to do it this way. No, that's the problem. Investors are in this box. Platform developers are in this box. They think this way. Again, I ask the question, where do musicians go? The biggest answer I get, Bob, is Patreon. Really? That's your answer? Because that's not what Patreon is. They're a tool. They're not a vertical. Musicians do not have the capability to kick ass tonight at a concert and the next morning have merchandise and content ready to rock and roll for their super fans to purchase right at that point. They don't have that. Okay. Super fan, what is a super fan? Well, everybody's got their own definition of a super fan. And that's starting that again, super fan is starting to get hijacked, because when I say super fan to somebody, it's already been hijacked. They already have their belief of what that means. No. I have a Jeff Crosby here in Boise, Idaho. Great musician. He has 11,000 followers on Instagram, 12,000 followers on YouTube. He is a small time guy when it comes to social media. Okay. However, how can I tell, looking at his Instagram and his YouTube videos, how can I tell who the super fans are? These are fans that just don't like. These are fans that comment. These are fans that upload photos in the comment section of them at the concert down at the Pengillies in Boise, Idaho. These are the fans that are asking about his next drop. These are super fans. This is quantifiable. That is a super fan. Okay? Those are the ones that I have identified that do not have a home for Jeff Crosby. I talked to Jeff 2 weeks ago and said, Jeff, this is who we are. He goes, oh my God, I don't have that. I have to do this and I have to do that. And the amount of effort that I have to go through and the burnout and all the other bullshit that he has to hear on these comments from these passive fans that just want to troll, it doesn't make sense for these. He's not making money with his super fans. He was like, Eric, how do I get involved with your pilot? And this is a guy that has a total of 28,000 fans spread across YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay? So we know the problem is real. We just know that the industry is coming from a tree that has a certain belief system of how you're supposed to build something.
Well, it's changing. It's changing.
Well, it needs to change.
It is changing. Again, you could see by the powers to be, they being involved and being part of the AI movements, and that tells you something. Either they know something or they like, we better jump on the bandwagon now and have, it's all about control.
Yeah.
If we don't control it now, it'll get out of control and we're done, and they feel, which is true also now with AI being involved, that original human created content is at a bigger value, bigger value, because.
And Bob, to speak to that, is AI is doing one thing that I know. It is accelerating thought. It is accelerating ideas.
I love AI. I think it's a great thing, great invention.
At such a light speed, because I learned long ago that an idea will eventually become more than an idea. It's just, it floats around until it drops into somebody that actually expends the energy to do something with that idea. That idea may drop into somebody in Cambodia that has no resources to do that idea, but eventually every idea on this planet that we've had would eventually come true. It just happened to land in a specific spot where somebody has the resources or the wherewithal to be able to take the idea and expand it and become more than an idea. Scientists, they create, and what they do is then they go out and they get verification, and that's how we get fact. It just boggles my mind that forever we thought the world was flat, and now we know it's round. So these ideas are coming. AI is really accelerating it, and for a company like me, the speed to meet aspect of it, I need to get this out now. The land grab, FanzPass, anybody who's going to do this for musicians.
At what stage right now of FanzPass, you would say?
FanzPass is, I just, 2 months ago, I hired Mason Williams. He's an NFL agent, and his family, his mom is under the Jerry Bruckheimer tree in Hollywood. She's produced all the LA Laws. She's huge. So entertainment wise, Mason has already got LOIs for 50 creators for our pilot. We are currently looking for a certain amount of money, less than $200,000, to complete customization of the platform. Again, when I started this, I wasn't Mark Zuckerberg. I had no science degree. I didn't drop out of Harvard to create the next global empire.
All right. It's all about the vision and and the drive. All about the vision and the drive.
I built the platform as well as I could to a point. Now we're in customization. So once we get funding, we run pilot. That pilot is designed to prove direction and numbers, and also to prove that creators, musician and athlete creators, can make money on FanzPass. And once that's done, then we can go to the next series of funding and really do the land grab that we need to get into a position to be the industry leader of this vertical.
So
And
now
that's where we're at.
you're in development. Would I say
Yeah.
you're in development on the back? Just developing the platform. Is there
Right.
a beta out or not yet?
Yes, we actually, I have a platform that I could show you.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have the customization that we need, the dashboards.
So FanzPass, it's working actually.
Yes.
You just want to upgrade it. You
We
want to do
want
an
to
upgrade.
customize it so we can go to pilot, so we can prove direction and numbers.
So the platform you have out there, or the version of FanzPass right now, what is it? Is it workable only by you, or is it workable by anybody could come in? Is it B2B or B2C?
It's B2C right now.
B2C, okay.
And so a fan can get on there and create a fan page. A creator can go on there and create so if they're a musician, they create.
Do you have any creators, whether they're artists or athletes or any talent? Not yet.
Nope. Mason, again, we made a decision before we do pilot. And again, we have 30 NFL players and NIL athletes. We have Sidney McLaughlin, who's a world-renowned Olympian, who signed a letter of intent. We have these letter of intents from musicians and from athletes, more athletes than musicians. And once the customization is done, they have committed to create on FanzPass their studio or their locker and start the process of bringing their super fans over into FanzPass. And Bob, make no mistake, I am not assuming sophistication from the creators. These kids do not know how to make money on social media. They don't. I'm not assuming sophistication. We are providing it with our white glove onboarding process. Each creator will be assigned a FanzPass lead. We will define their revenue lanes. We will define how we're going to actually convert over from the feeder accounts, which feeder accounts is what we call Instagram, X, all those reach-based platforms. And we're going to teach them how to convert over the fans. We will still have a public space in FanzPass, and the public space is a funnel. It's a layered funnel because paywalled, like Patreon is paywalled. You can't warm up a cold fan without public space. So we've actually created a funnel within FanzPass, the public space, to be able to warm up public fans and have creators actually convert them into a subscription model. And again, we're not just a subscription model. There is 5 native revenue channels existing: ticketed live events, brand sponsorships, podcasting, subscriptions, and fan boosts.
And you think this year will be the year where you guys where FanzPass with the new customization upgraded version, it'll be up and running or live?
Pilot is scheduled to start the end of this month. It's going to be a 6-month pilot. By Christmas, we'll be ready to. Now, keep this in mind. We are not about scale. We're about depth. I am creating a infrastructure that is a 1-inch, mile-deep trench of depth. I am not creating a mile-long, 1-inch trench of depth like the other people are doing. So we've already figured out that we are not geared towards Taylor Swift. We're not targeting the high school athlete that is getting paid promoting his brother's lemonade stand, okay? We are primarily built for the mid-tier creator of 100,000 to 500,000 followers.
Nice.
And we understand that we calculate a certain percentage of those followers obviously are going to be super fans. And we also know that we're going to get public fans coming on FanzPass in the public spaces where they can create fan clubs and stuff like that. But we will actually, in this funnel, not force subscription, but demonstrate how subscription benefits them. When I went to the NFL, I told them I'm not going to force NFL athletes to sign on this. We're going to demonstrate to them why it's in their best interest to become part of Team Spirit Store in our Phoenix program. So it's not about forcing a public fan to become a subscriber and subscribed in order to get into the musician studio to get that kind of content. We're going to demonstrate how it benefits them, and we're going to cultivate them. So the creator will, through templates that we will provide, again, we're not assuming sophistication, we're going to provide it. We're going to teach them how to bring over their super fans, and we're going to define their revenue lanes and how to intentionally build this, okay? And we have a mental wellness component to it because, let's face it, these creators are getting slammed, by trolls, the posting grind that they have to do right now. I mean, with Instagram, you do a post, it spikes, it goes viral, attention spikes, then it goes to zero again, and it resets the value to zero every time, and then they have to do another post, and it's just pushing a rock up a hill hoping something goes viral. Well, we're not creating that in this environment. Okay, so
got it. Interesting, really interesting. Very excited. I think you a bit ahead of the curve a bit, which is good. The super fans idea is not new, but the way you constructed, FanzPass and your vision to it, definitely a new thing and ahead of the curve. And you kept your finger on the pulse, and finally it's coming around. Very, very, it's needed.
And Bob, let's also understand that a great idea is just an idea. I've been fortunate enough to where, my girlfriend told me, Eric, and this was a couple of years ago, she goes, Eric, I just listened to a podcast, Hidden Brain. She turned me on to Hidden Brain podcast. And one of the podcasts talk about, if you're going to do something like this, stick with your lane that you're good with. And I'm really good with NFL. I'm good with athletes, and I'm good with musicians. I understand. I believe when Gene Simmons of Kiss says the record industry is dead, I believe him. There's some truth to that. Now, Gene Simmons may say a lot of things just because he's Gene Simmons, and that, I mean, back in 1979, he said the K car from Chrysler, K meant Kiss. Okay, so come on, we got to take everything with a grain of salt. But what I do understand is I knew my lane, and then I brought on Mason, and he's an NFL athlete or agent, and and all his clients are these young kids, and all these young kids now want to grow up to be influencers. I mean, they that's what they want. This is the new economy we live in. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And how do they leverage their NFL? How do they leverage what they're doing in the day job in order to be able to create something that has a very compounding afterlife? Because in NFL creators, or an NFL lifespan is 4.5 years. And after 4.5 years, they either, if they're lucky, they get into the NFL some way, but most of them become insurance salesmen. Okay. So same thing with musicians. What the hell's going on when I read an article about Sheryl Crow and she's going broke? Are you kidding me? Sheryl Crow? This is not fair. This shouldn't be happening.
No, definitely. 100% no.
100% no. And when COVID happened, what we did learn is we learned that these, back in the day, we had Hollywood Squares where the B actors and the C actors got paid to be on these shows, right? You didn't see Al Pacino in the center square of Hollywood Squares because he was making millions. But these B and C actors had to do Match Game and Hollywood Squares and all this shit to make money and to be relevant. Well, what I learned in COVID is the same B and C creators were really creating some great content and their followers increased. I mean, Dennis DeYoung from Styx is doing this thing on his grand piano about the whole creation of the Grand Illusion album. I'm just blown away by it. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is great content. Here's what super fans want, and here's where everybody's getting it wrong. They want proximity, they want access, they want belonging. They don't want post. Okay, and that's what we are providing in our vertical is teaching. Again, not assuming that creators know how to do this. I'm not assuming their sophistication. We're providing a white gloved way to intentionally build fans and have something that's going to be beyond their careers. And here's something that Mason brought to me, which was brilliant. He goes, Eric, what would you be open to the women's flag football thing that's really, I'm like, talk to me, keep talking. We understand that women creators are going to kick the hell out of men creators. Why? Because they can talk about fashion. They're beautiful, right? Just by human nature, they're going to have more super fans, more engagement, more comments. And so we talked about that. We talked about, okay, all right, that's even more nichier than I thought we could be. So I understand NFL athletes and musicians. Mason is in the trenches with these creators every day. He knows it. We're not coming. We didn't glue these two industries together because we're stupid. We glued them together. We put them together because their fans have the identical behavior culturally, and their biggest moments happen live. And that's what we're built on.
Amazing. Well, extremely insightful. Love the idea. Can't wait for it to see it live. And we can also do some business together, and something that really needed to empower and to help and to elevate the current, how should I say, the current situation that the music level, the music business is in right now, and artists are struggling, don't know where to go. I know there's a lot of change of blockchain come into play. I mentioned it earlier. Super fan platforms like yours and many others. But yes, it will evolve always. It evolved, as I remember, from physical, when it hit a point where at a crossroad where everybody thought the music business is done. That's it. Now you got the platforms where you can download it for free. Nobody's buying records. Then it kind of evolved, and new technology kind of got where it needed to be, and all of these streaming platform or download platforms started to born. What the biggest one was Apple was the first big one that had the majority of every record out there. Then slowly start to expand to other platforms. Then Spotify came in as the leader of streaming, and then everybody joined the bandwagon, and here we are. And again, it's another era. Everything served its purpose. Everything, we're not going to say was bad. It's scaling. It's all about scaling and changing and technology and advancement and how it works and numbers. It's all about numbers in the end of the day. So now we'll see what next, but definitely super fans, blockchain, social, AI. We'll see a new birth of new creators, obviously, with AI, and new creators, new stars, new celebrities, new influencers. But again, at what platform? At where's all that going to take place? Where's going to be the vertical? Where's everybody going to be at? Where's the place where you can actually monetize? But I think it's evolving slowly, but it's happening slowly, but not slowly in a slope. No, slowly, like within the next couple of years, or maybe from this 26, 27, 28. These are extremely important years in the music business where you'll see the new direction.
I'll either be, here's how I look at it, just based on what you just said. In 2 years, you're 100% right. We're going to have more clarity about where we're at now in 2 years than we have today. And today, it is possible that our belief systems are wrong. Okay. And that's what's cool about it is everybody's making their opinions. And you know what? I respect everybody's opinions, but I'm still open to possibility that we're just wrong. So here's my what I've really come to believe is in 2 years I will be completely irrelevant. Okay. And this podcast will be just right. Or I will have a platform that is where people go, oh, where's the home for proximity? Where's the home for belonging for fans? And where's a home for musician and athlete creators to actually have an economic engine for them to make money? And it's either going to be one of those two things. And in 2 years, you know what may happen, Bob, is somebody like Apple or somebody like will buy me out for 400 million and I'll walk away, go on the beach and come up with something else. Okay.
Yes.
Or I will say this is you know, a kind of generational income where I don't want to let it go and I'm going to give it to my, and we'll move on and we'll keep building it and we'll keep expanding it. I've had visions of FanzPass Stadium, for the LA Rams. I mean, they're my team. I have a vision board, right? So who knows what's going to happen? It's a great time for everybody.
Yes.
And I think we all just have to we have to set our egos aside. We have to be open to possibility. We have to be able to take our belief systems and say, hey, we can either modify the belief systems, we can totally discard them, or we can create new belief systems. But we're in this time where we have to be open to possibility. And I love that about this industry.
Well, it's not too late for somebody to jump in and say, hey, I want to be part of this FanzPass and I don't want to miss out on it. How can they get a hold of you? Eric Petersen.
Well, they can get a hold of me. The best way to get a hold of me, I'm terrible with texting. I don't believe in texting. I think the nuances of communication are completely destroyed in texting. If somebody wants to get a hold of me, they can email me at Eric, ERIC, at teamspiritstoreusa.com, or they can call me directly at 208-440-4312. That's what I prefer. Conversation, real time. But
we will display the number with your permission, obviously.
100%.
And LinkedIn. That's how me and you came across each other.
And here's another thing, Bob, and I don't want to forget this. About a month and a half ago, I decided, you know what? How do I get in front of people? Because I need in my circle people. If I'm in a room and I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm screwed. So I did this LinkedIn campaign. And thank you, Bob. You were one of the first people who said, yeah, hey, because you know why? You're open to possibility. It's amazing how many people have reached out to me and have been so giving of their time and open to possibility. We're all looking for the same thing. We're all trying to figure this out. And thank you. You were one of the first guys that just said, hey, I'm open to conversation, and this has been great.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine, my friend. Absolutely. Always a pleasure to meet new people and to educate myself and our listeners and viewers on the show, because I'm always learning and I'm always excited and intrigued and humble to an honor to meet people like yourself who are creators, who have visions, and others that I came across on SoundBreaker. It's been actually a great journey that actually created new friendship, new relationships, and new ideas. Definitely new ideas for me. I'm always learning every day. Well, Eric, I want to say thank you for joining us here at SoundBreaker. And we extremely appreciate your time and information. And we cannot wait to see FanzPass out there running and kicking behind.
And Bob, believe me, after this podcast, I will keep you informed. Hopefully we can keep our communication going.
Yes, call me, text me. You got my information. Yes.
Because what you're doing with Music Dash and Film Dash is incredible. You've created a vertical.
Oh,
And
yes, creating
I
a
see
vertical
synergy
and
between what we're doing and what you're doing.
yes, and we've seen a tremendous growth, and there's a lot of things that we're adding to Music Dash. We're going to be one of the first independent music platform actually to distribute on the blockchain, and it's been a journey. I wouldn't say rough, but it's part of it. It's part of the journey. There's never a smooth journey. It doesn't
No,
matter what you're doing in life. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could tell you this. Been in the business for 30 years. It's always it's a learning. It's always a learning curve. The road
I
is
mean, how
never
much
smooth.
friction do you get every day? I
Oh,
mean, come
forget
on.
it. Oh,
It's,
every
it's,
day. It's
I love it.
yes, yes,
It's,
yes,
that's
yes.
what we're built for, Bob.
But believe in what you're doing. That's it. Have a vision and believe. If you believe in it, that's what manifestation is about, actually. And I'm learning it because I always struggle about how to manifestation work. And I thought it's something that you can really like create. No, it's actually it's very spiritual and very connected, and it's all about believing. And the more you believe, the more positive you become. The more it doesn't matter your current situation, even if you're in the slumps, financially, emotionally, mentally. If you the minute you start believing, this is when you start uh, noticing an elevation in your spirit and in your vision and everything else, and you'll see things start to happen. You know,
Bob, believe in the universe, because when you put
yeah.
positive energy out to the universe, it responds. When you put negative
Well,
out to,
this is about the vibration, and
yes,
still didn't understand the vibration. I'm starting to understand what that means. Actually, it's really means in you believing in what you're doing,
yeah.
and staying positive. Yeah, not just saying it; it's really
No,
believing. It's a little bit more than that. I thought it's just saying it. No, it's believing.
no, our outer reality is
Yeah,
completely not factual. It's our
yeah,
inner reality, our belief system that
yeah,
creates our outer reality.
yeah.
So being able to manage your belief systems is the way to have a great life.
Again, my brother, thank you. Thank you for coming. This concludes today's episode of SoundBreaker. Please make sure to follow us on social and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you and pleasure.
Bob, I appreciate you. Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share the SoundBreaker podcast. And if you are joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.